Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. In this video, I've got a piece titled, Fidelity adds XRP to list of supported cryptos for charitable donations. Very cool stuff. I'm also going to cover a piece from dailyhodl.com, and Ethereum creator Vitalik Buterin says, here's the quote, crypto is, quote, much bigger than just Bitcoin. And so I'll tell you what he means by that. But before we get going, boys and girls, if you would please delicately tap that like button. And if you're a fan of Ripple and XRP, do the right thing and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel, where you will be amongst friends. This is a safe place for the XRP community. All right, let's get going here. Fidelity Charitable has added XRP to its list of assets, allowing donors to make contributions using the world's third largest cryptocurrency. According to the announcement, here's a quote, the addition of Ripple expands the existing array of assets, including Bitcoin, that donors can contribute into their donor-advised funds to fuel their philanthropy. And of course, we know when they say Ripple, they mean XRP. You are forgiven. Cryptocurrency donations give people a way to increase their charitable giving since gifts are exempt from paying capital gains tax. Instead, the 501c3 charity receives the full value of a donor's contribution, which is pretty cool, and it incentivizes people to give more to charity. So, all good all around as far as I'm concerned here. In the example above, there are three key assumptions. So here's the bullet point. Bullet point 1. Assumes all realized gains are subject to the maximum federal long-term capital gains tax rate of 20% and the Medicare surtax of 3.8%. This does not take into account state or local taxes, if any. Point 2. Amount of the proposed donation is the fair market value of the appreciated property held more than 1 year that donor considers, as determined by a qualified appraisal. And third bullet point, assumes a contribution of 100 Bitcoin. Alex's tax basis is assumed to be $100 for Bitcoin. If Alex sold 100 Bitcoins for $250,000, he would have $240,000 in capital gains and would pay $57,120 in tax. The organization says there's also another upside to making donations using cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and XRP to Fidelity Charitable, which has a donor-advised fund program. Participants can recommend how the contribution is invested and potentially grow it tax-free. The organization has helped donors support more than 278,000 nonprofit organizations with more than $35 billion in grants. It hit a milestone last year with $1 billion in contributions from complex assets such as private stock, limited partnership interest, real estate, and cryptocurrency. The addition of XRP rounds out the organization's support for the world's top 5 cryptocurrencies: Bitcoin, Ether, XRP, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin. And I love seeing actual adoption of this. When you see a major entity like this, Fidelity, doing something like this, I mean, it just goes to show, and you know that they're jumping into crypto. I'm not going to go through that again because that's not the purpose of this particular video. But they understand that the crypto asset class is here to stay. I mean, these are not stupid people. I think I was reading that their assets under management are something like $2.46 trillion, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's a massive company. So they're not just jumping into this all willy-nilly. And I know we're just talking about charitable donations here, but they're jumping into crypto in a bigger way, as I have reported on this channel. All right, next piece here. Let me show you this. I'm not going to cover this because I already covered it yesterday, but just the quick synopsis here. That was redundant. Okay. This is from Alex Cobb's website, the XRP Daily. And Brad Garlinghouse says Ripple and XRP moving into the walking phase. Also comments on BTC dominance. Again, feel free to check out my video from yesterday. I think it's the last video that I posted of the day yesterday. I didn't share with you yesterday, but there is proof that the message that Zerpinator on Twitter claims came from Brad Garlinghouse actually did come from Brad Garlinghouse. And here, there's actually a video. It's 1 minute and 44 seconds, and and this is like the most elaborate hoax for no actual benefit. Then I just I couldn't fathom that. But he actually shows him going into his Twitter account into private messages and showing what Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse had to say to him. And other fun fact, he sent Brad Garlinghouse socks and he wore them in public at some event and said, "Socks are on." I thought that's kind of cool. So how about that? And I had seen him wearing Ripple socks, but I thought it was the socks I saw him previously wear. It was at some event over a year ago. I thought it was from Crypto Man, who has, by the way, that's a funny name. Crypto, T-O-E, get it? I like it anyway. So anyway, yeah, it's a real thing. It actually did indeed happen. All right, last piece for this video. This is from dailyhodl.com. Ethereum's Vitalik Buterin. Crypto is much bigger than just Bitcoin. And by the way, fun fact for those of you that may not know, Vitalik Buterin got the idea for Ethereum from Ripple employees. Indeed, in fact, he once crashed on the couch of Stefan Thomas, who was a Ripple CTO who went on to found Coil. So nothing against Vitalik Buterin. Props to him for pulling something off that has changed many people's lives in like a mega way. I mean, we'll see if Ether, has staying power as time unfolds. But hey, props to him for getting it this far. It is pretty cool. But yeah, the smart contract idea that came from Ripple employees. It seems to me like at the center of everything cool in crypto, Ripple is there. They thought about everything. Anyway, so let me cover this. Ethereum creator Vitalik Buterin says the crypto industry needs to do a better job of explaining the benefits of blockchain and crypto technology. In an interview with The Star, Buterin talks about the use cases for the emerging technology, which include decentralized finance, gaming platforms, digital identity, healthcare, voting, fundraising, security infrastructure, and more. And here's a quote. One of the big things that needs to be communicated is the fact that 5 years ago, the blockchain was just about Bitcoin, but now it's much bigger than Bitcoin. It's split off into separate spaces that have a lot of different visions. For Ethereum, what we care about is taking the blockchain technology behind Bitcoin that makes decentralized cryptocurrency possible and making it more general purpose so that other things can be decentralized in the same way. Buterin says governments have a long way to go in terms of understanding and implementing their role in how crypto and blockchain-based platforms develop. And here's a quote again. Governments do have a role, and one of the roles is regulation. The usual concerns are about cryptocurrency exchanges where the basic idea is to do fundraising for a new project by directly selling tokens on the blockchains. There are debates whether specific kinds of initial coin offerings, ICOs, are legally categorized as securities, so the regulators are grappling with the issue. As for the future of Ethereum itself, Buterin promises the platform will scale by a factor of at least 100, dramatically lowering transaction fees, but that's just the beginning. And here's a quote now. Scalability is not the only problem. There are still challenges with usability, with account security, and with privacy that are improving. It's also improving from a technical point of view, but even if the tech is there, how do you turn it into something that people will use? Well, that's a very good question, because crypto in general is not exactly user-friendly. I remember when I bought my first XRP, it was not a pleasant experience. I ended up using, where did I buy? I bought it from, well, first of all, I think I was using Bitcoin to transfer at that time because I didn't realize I could use other coins to do it because I knew pretty much nothing about crypto back in November of 2017. So I bought Bitcoin, and then I used Shapeshift to get it onto GateHub somehow. I used Shapeshift. I remember that. That's how I got my first XRP ever. I didn't understand what was happening, but I followed a tutorial that I saw on YouTube about how to do it. And it was a funny thing. Looking back, though, the tutorial was made, it must have been like, I want to say 2015. And this guy, when he was showing how to do it, he's like, oh yeah, XRP, it's going to be the next big thing. And he spent like $175 worth of XRP, which is almost 30,000 XRP. 30,000 XRP for about $175. And looking back at that, I'm just like, mind blowing. Oh my God, I wish I had been there. But still, I still maintain though it's okay. I think that we're still in super early. The world doesn't know what's coming. The vast majority of humans out there have no freaking clue what is about to drop down upon them, because crypto is here to stay. And I insist, this is not financial advice, of course, but I firmly believe that people are going to be diversifying. Institutional investors will be diversifying and getting a taste of crypto. And we're already seeing that, actually. For those of you that didn't hear, there was a video, and this actually did surprise me. I mentioned this 1 or 2 days ago, I think. It turns out about 22% of institutional investors, at least out of those polled, whatever the sample size was, and I'll just trust it was a reasonable sample size, but it showed that 22% had already purchased cryptocurrency. That's way more than I thought, but there's a lot more room to go, and that doesn't mean that they have much of it at all, but I think that it's going to be over time. First of all, more institutional investors will jump in, and the percentage of held, I think, is going to increase over time. I would suspect anyway, as the asset class continues to prove that, yes, it has staying power, and it's really actually going to be here pretty much forever. So that's pretty much it. But I guess that's a good point to wrap up this video. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!